Yo guys, Spiderbot here, and we're on the quest to solve the Easter egg on Die Rise and to take a look at this high maintenance and what we think will lead to successfully unlocking the high maintenance achievement in Die Rise, be the architect of their instruction. Obviously, this is leading us to believe that we're going to continue the separate paths that Maxis and Richthofen had laid for us in transit, and we're going to continue that. What we're going to look at first is the opening cinematic, because there are a couple of things that we want to pay attention to specifically. Not that we have an answer for what it is they're actually referring to, but things that they mention in that cutscene that you see in solo player when you start the game that we just want to keep in mind as we progress through this Easter egg and the achievement on Die Rise. So let's take a look once again at the opening cinematic.
I don't understand. Why are you doing this? Why me? Travel where? Don't you get it? There's nothing left! Oh, how did you... What? What do you mean, mend the rift? Well, maybe I don't wanna. Huh? Did you think of that? Oh, you can't tell them about the flesh! What I did! They'd kill me if they knew. Ah, shit!
If you're gonna talk to your imaginary friends, Stu, you might want to wait till you're in a Z-free zone. Ah!
Oh. Stupiger! Get over here, now!
Come on, come on!
What do we do now?
We arm up, find a good place to defend, kick ass, that's it!
I don't understand!
What are you talking about, Stuhlinger? Misty made it pretty clear.
Accept your fate, begin anew!
We're going down fighting! Now!
Have we been here before?
Alright, let's bring it down bit by bit. And in the past, in transit, Richthofen was the only one that was speaking to Samuel, but now it appears as though we have another character introduced that's speaking to Samuel, and we can't tell what it is they're saying. But apparently, Samuel does understand, at least to a degree, what he is saying.
Why me? Travel where? Don't you get it? There's nothing left!
So this little bit obviously kind of explains how they got from Green Run and Transit to here to Great Leap Forward and Die Rise. I mean, it's this purple beam of energy, and that purple beam denotes Richthofen influence, right? If we know from Transit, we have Maxis, which is an orange color influence, and we have Richthofen is the purple color influence. So, and again, because we're looking at from the perspective of Samuel for the most part, then and his interactions with Richthofen as well as this new character, and it's really confirmed by the loading screen image in the bottom right. It's a sort of the same image that we see of them traveling from a transit to Die Rise.
What do you mean, mend the rift?
Okay, so this one statement stands out to me, mend the rift. Now, honestly, I don't have any clues or ideas or theories about exactly what this is, but it's a phrase, mend the rift, that I want to keep in the back of my mind as we're going through Die Rise and as we're going through the Easter egg and figuring out what it is that Richthofen and Maxis may or may not want us to do.
Oh, you can't tell them about the flesh! What I did! They'd kill me if they knew. Ah, shit!
So Samuel's statements actually solidify what we've seen in the other quotations back on Transit. I mean, Samuel has some involvement here. He is responsible for something. And again, our thinking is that he has been somehow infected with Element 115 or impacted by it somehow. Again, being able to communicate with Richthofen, the new character, it just reinforces that theory. Now, one other thing that people had mentioned to me on Twitter was about the bandage around Samuel's left leg. If you notice, just above his calf, that he has a bandage around there, and I think maybe possibly there's the theorization that that's actually a good image of Rustman, isn't it? Getting eaten, and that's one of those advanced, what we're calling advanced Nova crawlers. I mean, there might be another name for them, but for now that's what we've been calling them. But perhaps Samuel has been bitten, he's been further infected by Element 115, and maybe that's why he can hear the additional character, and is receiving additional instructions from this character. And I assume that Richthofen and this character are teamed up, or they're I don't know, in some fashion.
Accept your fate. Begin anew.
Richthofen obviously communicating with Samuel, accept your fate, begin anew. I mean, it's obvious, not only does Richthofen want us to help, but at the same time, he's sending the zombies after us. I mean, he wants Samuel to be part of the horde, basically, and maybe to become his minion, not sure. Again, something that we want to keep in mind as we go through the storyline, and I don't think this storyline is going to come to any sort of conclusion, maybe in one aspect of it, but we're going to have more answers than we have, or more questions than we have answers by the time we figure out what the heck's going on in Die Rise. And we still have tons of questions about transit. I mean, come on.
Have we been here before?
Okay, so this is the last part I wanted to talk about. It looks like they've either gone, they've gone back in time, or it's like Groundhog Day, right? You ever see Groundhog Day with Bill Murray? He keeps reliving the same day, in and out, in and out. When he goes to sleep, at February 2nd, the night of February 2nd, he wakes up and it's February 2nd again. It's that morning, and he has to relive that Groundhog Day every single day. But the thing is, there's something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was something specific that he had to do in order to get out of that loop. And that's kind of the loop that we're in. We continue to play zombies, and we die at the end of the game, and then we start playing it over again. So we're kind of in that Groundhog Day ourselves, just by playing Die Rise over and over, and it ending with our deaths. So again, perhaps there is some sort of end game to Die Rise where there is something that we do, and we continue on to that next day, and we get ourselves out of this Groundhog Day that just keeps reoccurring. So just one more thing, and going back to the loading screen image, obviously we've discussed the bottom right image. The top left image, is what we just discussed at the end of the cutscene, call it a trailer or whatever, cutscene, where they get shipped back, and it's the beginning of their Groundhog Day again. The bottom left image looks like it's just the scorched earth, and perhaps in the future, if we don't achieve or do what we need to do, that's how the earth becomes. I mean, it's not only scorched, it's actually breaking apart, and it's the destruction of earth. The top right there's some significance, obviously, again, with the tower, going back to transit and the Tower of Babel, and the fact that the navcard station, the navcard reader station, exists at the base of this new tower on Die Rise. I mean, that's obviously significant. There's some maybe significance with the dragons at the top that are maybe these dragons are sort of guarding that tower, but there's something to do with them. And then there's that figure that's in black. We see the two zombies sort of at the bottom, but then there's that figure, and the guys I mentioned, it reminds me of James Bond. And then the last image, and I really haven't spent a lot of time on this, but that last image on the left that's sort of underneath this page, this book page, it almost looks like it's related to the image that we showed from the trailer, and what you see on the zombies. A lot of the zombies have these personnel, these ID cards with lanyards, right? And you can kind of see it behind their tie. That image there reminds me of the image on those ID cards. I don't know why, but I'll have to take a closer look. Or if you guys have any opinions on that, then please let us know. We'd be very, very interested in hearing your opinions and what you think of the opening cutscene, what you liked about our analysis, what you disliked, what you think should be, different from what we're thinking, and the same goes for this load screen image. Looking forward to your feedback, guys, and we're going to continue on with the Easter egg and analysis very soon. We're on it. Tired, but we're on it. I'm Spider-Bite, and I'm out.